Hello everyone and welcome to iQuanta. I hope you're all doing fine, and we have another guest today over here who's a rather special one because he's the one who can guide you throughout so many queries that you have regarding your CLAT exam as well as AILET exam preparation. I'm most delighted to welcome here Arjun Anil, who is a fourth year student at NLU Delhi. NLU Delhi आपको पता ही है, it is the second best, और अगर हम AILET से जाएं तो like it is one of the best NLUs in the country, और इसके लिए आपको AILET का एग्जाम देना पड़ता है. एंड अगर हम NIRF रैंकिंग की बात करें तो भी NLU Delhi is on second rank after NLSIU Bangalore. So I think it's a great opportunity that we'll get to talk to Arjun, and he will be here to solve so many doubts that you guys have. So hi Arjun, formally welcoming you once again to iQuanta. So, how are you doing? First, let's just how are you?
I'm doing great. This place is amazing.
Yeah, it is, right? It's a green vibe. Indeed. All right. So, I think, Arjun, I can ask you सबसे basic question. Why law?
So, like, when I grew up, I saw my dad. My dad is a lawyer.
Oh.
And he used to be a prosecutor as well. So, he did a lot of high-profile cases, which I grew up to admire too. And I got interested in his job, and then I had the idea of law, right?
Wow.
And then I learned about NLUs, and it felt like a good decision to pursue law in this.
Great.
And
so I think law for Arjun was quite much a natural choice, I would say, right? Because हमारे घर में हम अक्सर जो professions देखते हैं, and you get inspired also, so I think it's quite a good choice to move ahead with those. And yeah, on that note, guys, Arjun is not from Delhi or even anywhere close by to Delhi. He's from a very beautiful state that is known as God's own country, which is Kerala, right? So definitely he also knows Malayali as a language. So Arjun, just for the people who are watching, maybe there is somebody who understands Malayali. Can you just say something, a hi, hello to all our viewers in Malayali?
Okay, so I hope you get it.
That's English. See, it won't be Malayali until I don't understand it, right? Okay. So yeah, anything.
I understand. നന്നായിട്ട് പഠിച്ചാൽ മതി. NLUs ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും നിങ്ങൾ എത്തിയിരിക്കും.
Wow. Okay, let me try to decode this. NLUs are good, something like that.
I said just work hard, you would get to NLUs.
All right, that's sweet, guys. So now you know this is the message that we definitely are delivering over here. So now I'd like to ask Arjun that which all exams did you take for entrance?
So I took CLAT, AILET, MHCT, SLAT and CLE, which is the Kerala law.
That's the state-specific exam, right? Okay, so if you could just give me a brief idea about your ranks in the primary ones, at least CLAT and AILET.
So in CLAT I got 250, and in AILET it's been like 4 years back, so I think it was somewhere around 30-40.
30-40, right, all right. So I think 250 की rank के साथ you had gotten which NLU?
NLU Jodhpur.
Jodhpur. Oh, I have been to NLU Jodhpur. It's one of the beautiful campuses. Really, it is really nice. All right. So, and the very same year you got this rank in AILET as well. So you chose NLU Delhi, right? So what was the reason for choosing NLU Delhi?
So like my first preference of all NLUs was NLU Delhi.
Oh.
So in my last 2-3 months, I started reading Glassnose, which is a student run website, newspaper essentially of NLU Delhi. It has everything of all the events that's happening in NLU Delhi, the student testimonies, what's happening in students' life, all of that. And I used to read up a lot on that.
Right.
And I used to see myself in the college. I used to know the tea shop. Everything about the place.
Yeah,
and I came there and I kind of belonged to the place.
I get it. So like virtual आपका campus view, like campus darshan हो चुका था already through this particular glossary that you're talking about. I think that's very nice way to motivate yourself as well, but because you envision yourself in a place that you really want to go, and ठीक है, so that was like you knew the campus already, so वो आपके लिए excitement और motivation का भी उसने काम किया होगा, right?
It's like a double-edged sword, because like whenever you think about that university too much, you think, what if I don't make it?
Yeah.
If I don't, I would be too depressed. Right? But like you have to take that chance, and you have to like give all of it in, right? And that's what I did.
Right. So I think that is when it's the right time to also talk about the strategy, right? That one follows. देखो हर किसी की strategy individually work करती है ना, किसी के लिए कुछ, किसी के लिए कुछ. So like, what was your strategy to approach these exams, Arjun?
So like my strategy was mocks. So I enjoyed doing mocks. I did one mock every day, and there were days when I did two, and there were certain days when I did three. I don't recommend doing that many mocks. Stick with just one mock a day.
Right.
But the thing with me was I enjoyed doing mocks. So it was never a chore for me. So I do it because I would be able to read through English passages, and it will be fun passages. It will be new thing you read about, right? And in the end, you will get the score.
Right.
And you kind of think about, how much would that translate to, maybe next time this score is slightly better than it used to be. This would be my rank. So it's more interactive. It was more like gamified in my eyes.
Right.
So I found the idea of taking mocks is less of a chore. So that is what I did. I used to analyze those mocks, and when I did do that, I used to find certain topics where it was like I was lacking in. So I would do topic tests.
Correct.
Or sectional tests.
Right.
But the idea of opening a textbook and then taking the chapter and studying it I did not do that unless I absolutely had to.
Right.
If
Now
the
I
topic
get it.
test didn't pan out, then I go for that. Because that was not my strategy. That's not what I'm comfortable in.
True.
So I stayed within what was comfortable for me, and I just spend more time doing that.
Right.
So it's less of an effort.
So this is basically what exactly we were talking about, that हर किसी की strategy जो है ना वो उसी के लिए उसी के हिसाब से work करती है. As per Arjun's explanation of his working strategy, I get reminded of reverse learning. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, हम एक जो सबसे generalistic method होता है, we take a topic, we open the book, we read it, उसका एक छोटा मिनी टेस्ट या सेक्शनल टेस्ट ले लिया, पढ़ लिया, उसको रिवाइज कर लिया, एंड देन एक बड़ा मॉक देके we do it. I think Arjun was using absolutely the opposite of it, the reverse of it, and why we call it as the reverse learning, that you take a mock, you identify topics you're good in, you identify topics that you're weak in, you identify the topics that are repetitive, so you understand that these are definitely important for the exams, तभी mocks में बार-बार आ रहे हैं, right? Then if you find you're weak at something, then you go read it or take a sectional test for that, and I think that's a very smart strategy. Like this kind of strategy I used to follow when I used to read passages. Like मैं passage कभी भी पहले नहीं पढ़ती थी, मैं पहले question देखती थी और उस चीज़ को passage में ढूंढने की कोशिश करती थी, तो wherever automatically that point used to come, तो मैं ज़्यादा attention देती थी कि okay यहाँ से question है. So this is a very I would say guys a very smart method. तो अगर आपके पास time है, like अभी तो आपके पास exam के लिए काफ़ी time है ना, I think we both can suggest you that you can try this at least once for yourself, right?
For sure.
कि आप ये भी नहीं कि directly आपने कुछ base ही नहीं बनाया और mock लेने बैठ गए, because I'm sure pretty sure Arjun कुछ तो आप तैयारी करते होगे बेसिक, राइट? पहले देन आप मॉक्स के साथ आगे बढ़ते होगे. Okay, so mocks was one thing that you enjoyed. Then what was one thing that you just didn't enjoy? That was like, why ये part क्यों है syllabus का? So वो क्या ऐसा कुछ था? Any one thing? Like for many it's newspaper reading or current affairs ऐसा कुछ रहता है तो.
So newspaper was one thing which I didn't like doing.
Alright, now many students will be able to connect so much with you.
Like absolutely, it was horrid. So I just go through like editorials, because like those were fun to read. It was like a new topic and it was elaborate essay, right? I liked doing that. So that's something I did, but the idea of reading an entire newspaper and multiple newspapers didn't make sense to me.
Right.
It was very hard to do. So I stuck with what I could do.
Alright, so what did you do? Like what was your strategy then in this situation? Yeah.
So I read editorials and then I identified the main events that's happening, right, in the particular year. As in this year, we have the genocide of Palestinian people, right? We have that going on. That is a major topic. So there are certain 10, 20 topics which are very, very important. So you need to know a lot about it, right? So it will be a good idea for you to make notes. And in those notes, you need to write down the most important topics. You can find iQuanta material here. So you can look through that and you can identify topics and you do more research on it. You do more reading on it and you would like doing it and you learn more about it. I think that would be a very good way to.
Correct. So I like it's like it makes so much sense that पूरे newspaper को एकदम ऐसे पढ़ लो कि घोट के अंदर ले लेना है, ऐसा भी कोई फायदा नहीं है, because it's not going to reap you anything significant in the exam. Rather, it's important that you identify the topics that are more repetitive and that have the nature of being questioned in the exam. And on that note, like iQuanta also prepares a list of 30 most important topics from one whole month, and we not just identify those topics, but we also bring out any possible question that can come from that side. And we also have a monthly magazine that Arjun, I think definitely can endorse. We can, because it is exactly on the lines of what Arjun has just talked to you about. ओके सो इसके अलावा अर्जुन क्वांट एक है, ठीक है, मैथ्स मेरे लिए तो मतलब मुझे लगता है इस दुनिया से अगर मैथ्स गायब भी हो जाएगी तो आई विल जस्ट नॉट बी बॉदर्ड, आई विल बी रियली हैप्पी दो. सो व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रेटजी फॉर क्वांट्स? छोटा सेक्शन है बट important है.
What I used to do is I used to watch videos of like faculties explaining concepts. So the thing is, in CLAT, the kind of maths they ask is not very hard, like not incredibly hard math. So it's always like easy to moderate questions. So if you're doing the wrong mocks, in which some of the institutes they make hard questions for math, and you get very demotivated to like pursue that section. So what you should do is watch a lot of videos of people explaining concepts, and you need to make sure that in the when you do a mock, and in those mocks you dedicate some time to do math. So what I used to do when I do mock is I go through all the section. I have a sectional time limit for each like sections, and then I go through and try to not finish all the time I allocate to one section.
Save it.
So I'll do all the easy questions, and then I'll move on to the next section. I'll do all the easy, and I'll keep repeating this until I finish the paper, and then I'll only have the medium to hard questions that's left in all the sections. And now in the end I can make the decision of like how to spend time judicially on the medium to hard questions, right?
That's really smart.
And I do it, and then I have the math section, and I look through the math section, and I kind of like dedicate some time to it. Initially I used to be bad at math, so I didn't have much time to spare in math. So I started doing this thing where I dedicate like 10 minutes for math, and I did not touch those 10 minutes. And I used to submit mocks before that. So I tune myself to the thing where I incentivize myself essentially to study math, so that it would reflect on my scores.
Correct.
Because if you do skip the math section entirely, which a lot of people have seen do and still crack exams, very few, but still it's a thing people do. The problem with skipping math entirely is exam is getting incredibly complicated. The competition is very high. You need to like prepare for all the sections, and skipping math section entirely and focusing all of your time on the other section does not seem like a good idea to me, because of the incredible competition that's already there. And on addition to that, like if you're spending more time, like if you're utilizing the time you should be utilizing for math, and in that time you are doing legal or logical or English, what essentially happens is you are spending more time to it, right? If you were good in those subjects, then you wouldn't have to spend that much time, right? So the more mocks you do, you would end up being better in English. You'll end up solving those questions which you used to find to be difficult. You'll start doing it faster, and that happens through all the subjects.
Correct.
But the most difficult subject among all, where your strategy should be more than just mocks, is mathematics. So you need to make sure you incentivize yourself to strategize your preparation accordingly.
Right. That makes like that is quite valid, because अगर एग्जाम में किसी सब्जेक्ट को टॉपिक को डाला है तो कोई रीजन होगा, भले वो 10-12 क्वेश्चंस हो, 10-12 मार्क्स हो, बट अगर आप उसे छोड़ के जाएंगे, जैसे इमेजिन आप ऑलरेडी 12 मार्क्स पीछे हैं रेस में, सो आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आप 12 में से 12 लेके आएंगे, बट कुछ तो आप लाएंगे, अटेम्प्ट करेंगे, प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. तो सो डेफिनेटली अर्जुन, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस. एंड I think apart from strategy, one more thing is that what kept you motivated to work on this strategy every single day? So what was your line of motivation, apart from, of course, looking at your father working in the same field and, getting inspired from there? But which personal motivation tha, ya something that, worked for you?
So Glassnose was the daily go-to for me. I could literally look at everything that's happening in the campus. All the activities, like the competitions is happening, the moot court, the problems the students were facing, which was a lot. The students use that platform to address all of the issues they're facing. So I felt the good side and the bad side of NLU Delhi. I could see that. And that genuinely motivated me to get and have realistic expectations when it comes to what, I end up getting in NLU Delhi. And I think that's really important. If you have unrealistic expectations, then you would be extremely disappointed. We have people who come and then become sad. So I would say for motivation, there is a lot of resources out there. You have places, student magazines of NLS. there's so many things you can look forward to.
Correct. So of course I think then that was one point that really worked for Arjun. तो आप भी इस तरीके से मोटिवेशन ले सकते हैं कि जिस भी कैंपस को, जिस भी कॉलेज को आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं, so you can virtually at least get engaged into the various kinds of activities that they are doing, and you can imagine yourself being a part of it in the upcoming 1 year. So I think that works a lot for each one of us. Okay, Arjun. तो NLU दिल्ली ज्वाइन करने से पहले या फिर लॉ स्कूल बेसिकली ज्वाइन करने से पहले या लॉ स्टूडेंट की लाइफ में आने से पहले व्हाट वर योर एक्सपेक्टेशंस कि कैसी होती होगी, जैसे क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे थोड़ा रील्स में भी बड़ा कुछ दिखा देते हैं एंड व्हाट वाज द रियलिटी ऑफ दैट, लाइक डिड दे मैच और वाज इट बेटर और वाज इट लाइक नोवेयर व्हाट यू थॉट इट वुड बी, व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
So when I got to college, I was extremely surprised because it was, you have people who tell you college life is not how it is like in the movies. But for me personally, it was like it was in a movie. Everything was perfect.
Now, which movie are you referring to? That is the question.
This is no specific movie, but in the sense that everything was just perfect. The college was perfect. The campus was perfect. We have ACs in our hostels. Like, we have amazing infrastructure. I've never seen any other NLU have that.
Right.
You have amazing professors, people you can legitimately look up to, like incredible like CVs or these professors have, extreme job. And yeah, it was I had realistic expectations of the college. There's so many things to look forward to. You have moot court competitions, right? If you like to participate in debates, you have that. And any sort of international competitions, right? If you qualify for it, there's incredible competition inside the college. But if you do qualify for it, the college pays for your travel, all of your expenses.
Right.
Now, including your taxis. And most of these competitions, like a lot of it happens abroad. So you have people going to the US, UK, every lot of different countries, right? And all of these travel expenses will be taken care of by NLUD. And you have exchange programs, which is only limited to the top 3-4 NLUs. 3 NLUs, if I am right, where for 2 or 3 semesters, you can go abroad and study there.
Wow.
You
I
have
think
that.
this is like wonderful opportunity because ये insights मुझे भी honestly NLU Delhi के बारे में नहीं थे. तो अगर you are thinking of choosing NLU Delhi for that matter, it's going to be a really, really good and exciting choice. I'm pretty sure of that. And so I think strategy-wise, winding up, Arjun, what do you think is one thing that the students should stay away from? Meanwhile, they are preparing, like except from social media or something, because this is a very general answer.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Okay.
So
Anything else?
Personally, like the thing which I was extremely addicted to, still I am, is Netflix.
Oh.
I start watching a series, it will take a lifetime. I've known people who started watching the One Piece anime and then failed.
Is that the one that has 700 or some episodes?
1,000,
Oh,
and it's still going on, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, all right.
There are big animes, there are big series. So anything with a big commitment, don't take it in. Like video games is something I'm still addicted to. So maybe don't start playing big video games. Keep your entertainment short. Like a movie is nice. Small games are nice. But yeah, so.
Yeah, right. So you can have things that can incentivize you, that can reward you. But हाँ, कुछ ऐसे long form commitment जहाँ पे आप उसको second या third episode पे छोड़ ही नहीं सकते. You have to complete all of those, right? Yeah, that urge. So better avoid it इस time पे. So one tip I think you can work on कि आपने जो already web series देखी हुई है ना, शायद आप उनको repeat करके देख सकते हैं. Because this works for me. Like I'm a big Friends fan. So उसमें क्या होता है ना, कहीं से छूट भी जाता है तो दुख नहीं होता है, पता ही होगा. तो I still enjoy watching it, but I still do not get the urge to watch and keep watching it. So
but like sometimes some series you watch again and then it's more of a story driven.
Yeah.
So you end up finishing it again. I've done certain series multiple times.
Be careful of that.
That kind of is a problem. So try to stay away from that.
All right. So, like as a student guide, as a mentor, Arjun, what do you think, or how do you think that the way iQuanta has chosen to guide its students, along with mentors, along with, like for example, they can directly connect with me being the faculty for legal reasoning, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you think it is one thing that can really help the students? Like, what do you think about it?
So, like having a mentor is, especially for certain subjects like legal or math, is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because what happens in legal is you do the mock test, right? And you don't know why like your answer is wrong.
Right.
It like everything looks similar, and you kind of feel like one is the answer, but it's showing it's another answer. And the explanation often does not really convince you.
Correct.
Some explanations not convince you, right? So you need a faculty to sit there and explain to you. And when you have questions like, what about this question where I found this?
Yes, yes.
And the faculty would be able to help you, would be able to show you what's the difference, right? So faculties are extremely important when it comes to that. And iQuanta has incredible support, right? The most of the people who like, make even the mock questions, right? Are not the professors themselves, but the students.
Yeah, true.
So for instance, like, there are subjects like, so it's not even like the entire mock is made by a singular person. We have different people looking at different like sections. Because for instance, I would not be comfortable making current affairs because that's not my strong suit. And I cannot make something that I'm not good at, right? So, but for instance, English or legal is something I can do. So the point being that we have the best like questions that's made by students who have the, who knows what it is like, who this is going to, because they've themselves been there. And there is more of a ethics when it comes to the responsibility when it comes to these people making these questions, right? And so like most of these questions are made in a way where you are looking at CLAT questions, right? And you look back at the kind of questions you are making, and then you incorporate as much the spirit of how the CLAT makes questions into the material. So I would highly recommend anyone to take up iQuanta material. It's genuinely good. I can give my word for that.
Thank you so much, Arjun. That's really very kind of you. And he himself is one of the manpowers that we have here. So that's really amazing to have you as well. So I think that now we can wind this up with a very nice and quick rapid fire round.
Okay.
Right?
I'm bad at rapid fire.
Yeah, you're bad in it.
Yes,
then I'm going to have fun. All right, Arjun. So the first one is really simple one. Nothing like you can just, I think this is going to be an easy one for you.
Okay.
Just name a recent course or a webinar or maybe something, anything educative that you were a part of.
So there was this webinar that was conducted by Center of Administrative Law in our college with in partnership with Beijing University, Normal University, and it was an incredible lecture that we had. So that is something, yes.
So I think this was a good icebreaker for your rapid fire round because the other questions are not going to be so easy for you. This is an interesting one. Which is your favorite spot in the campus of NLU Delhi?
Can you include chess as a spot?
Anywhere, wherever you think you can stay or you can
Chess.
Wow.
Chess is more like
that's more intellectual. Apart from that, okay, name one more spot. That's an add-on.
I mean, okay, badminton could be.
Here you're such a safe person, huh? Arjun, are you?
What do I say?
Achha, all right. One good thing about law as a career, being a law student. One good thing as a law student.
One good thing, it's hard to pick.
There are many.
So, one good thing about being a law student.
Yeah. Well, one benefit about being a law student. You can go about that.
Well.
Rapid fire, Arjun. Rapid fire.
Let's do it in a slow fire mode. Take deep breaths, fire. I guess.
That's more of like a fire meditation then.
But yeah, like, the Supreme Court judgments, a lot of it are very inspiring.
Yeah.
Especially, I think when I was preparing for my CLAT, we had this series of judgments, Navjat.
Judgment.
Yeah, it was incredibly inspiring to be a part of the legal fraternity, even though we were not. We are. I think CLAT aspirants are a part of it.
Definitely,
right?
Are already.
So the Supreme Court judgments was something to look up to. I think.
And then one bad thing about a law student, being a law student, what is not a perk about being a law student?
So I think some of your peers can get overwhelming.
I would have answered similarly.
So like weirdly, in universities in general, when you ask students what's the most toxic, group of people, and they go law.
Law, I know.
So people are too full of themselves in law school. That is the thing. But there are great people too. You're gonna meet amazing people.
Course,
so don't get me wrong. It's a mix of both. You need to like be able to find the right
True. And one more thing is that like whenever you tell somebody, oh, I'm pursuing law, everybody around you tends to become a criminal-minded person somehow. You know, मेरा case होगा तो लड़ोगे ना. You must have heard it, haven't you? Tell me.
So many times, so many times.
And there are people who are like 60, 17 age already, and they were like, अब तो कुछ भी करेंगे तो आप केस संभाल लोगे ना. I'm like, uncle, why do you need to commit a crime? Don't. You have lived a like decently peaceful life and just continue that.
So like how I go about it, I just like go for it, just do it. I am there for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
And then you're gonna charge a lot of fees.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now, since as I had mentioned that Arjun is from Kerala, so one cultural shock, if any, that you felt or you had to go through when you came here.
Cultural shock. Pollution is not cultural shock.
Yeah,
I imagine, but
it's a shock.
it was a shock. I felt dizzy coming to Delhi for the first time.
Understand.
So the cultural shock. Well, I didn't feel much of a difference between like people. Utna zyada. The food was different, but I don't think that's cultural shock. But people are, there are good people and there are not so good people. The language barrier could be one. I think because I was able to understand Hindi when I reached NLU Delhi. But one issue is you cannot connect with, people as much as you could, like if you knew Hindi, right? You have like auto walas or people in the shop and you go bhaiya ye chahiye or whatever, but you can't ask about how like the bhaiya is doing, right?
Right. I get it.
So you can never access them, right? They are just people who are there to do service.
Right.
So even if you want to ask them anything, you just can't. So that barrier always exists.
Yeah, quite understandable. Now, since when you're talking about food, I had another question from food only. So, South Indian idli versus North Indian chole bhature, what would you choose?
God, idli for the win. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't
I get
like
it.
chole bhature.
I love idli. I too love idli.
I have a problem with chole bhature, and that is in our mess. It's on a Wednesday.
Mess ka chole bhature is a mess.
So our chole bhature is not bad. It's good.
Okay.
The problem is it's good enough for us to like have it. And Wednesday is the day I have a seminar.
Yeah.
So we have in fourth year we have classes from Monday to Thursday, and we have off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Wednesday is my seminar. We have 3 hour seminar on Wednesday. It's a big day. So after chole bhature, I tend to pass out because it's too heavy of a food.
That's so
I cannot do anything that day, and I pass out. And Wednesday is the day we have chicken. At night, and I pass out and miss chicken.
So it's a whole day of passing out.
Yeah, and I miss the one day where there is chicken, and I love chicken, and I cry. There were times I called my parents and I just had a breakdown.
Actually, that's a strategy to get less of chicken consumed. So that's a strategical move.
The strategy I did was skip chole bhature and
focus on chicken.
Yeah, feel the hunger. And then have the chicken in there.
I get it.
That was my...
Alright, so I think it was really fun talking to you, Arjun, especially given the rapid fire round. Got so many insights on chole bhature rather.
Indeed.
So, if you are planning to eat something good in the night, then do not eat NLU Delhi's chole bhature. Alright, so I think it was great talking to Arjun. Thank you so much for coming here. And guys, I think you can all take the opportunity of getting mentored by people like Arjun, who have already been through a college that is the most prestigious one in the country, and they can guide you through their own personal experiences as well. So, for this, there will be a link in the description box of this video as well, and you can click on it and join our WhatsApp community. And all of these mentors will be available over there to talk to you. And of course, you will get more privileges if you are an enrolled student with iQuanta's course, because you will be getting to get to know them personally as well. And I think it was great talking to you, Arjun. Thank you once again for taking out time from the busy schedule of NLU Delhi, which really is busy. And say something to our students, please.
I wish you all the best to crack this exam. It's not easy where you are at right now, but I can assure you, once you come to college, it's a challenging college. Academically, it's challenging, but you're gonna have free time, right? You would have more control over your time. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna get easier. So trust me, it's an incredibly fun college. You would love everything about it. Just
That's so sweet of Arjun. Thank you so much. And thank you so much everyone for watching this video till here, and all the best for your exam, and take care everyone.